So we now got the machine over our sample panel. We're just using around about a 5 meter length of a Kingspan RW panel. Machine balance positioning is very important. We're positioning the machine roughly over the center point along the length of the panel. When we lift it, that panel should lift quite flat. You can induce a pitch, and you can induce a pitch of up to 20 degrees without any other accessories, simply by positioning the machine off center of the panel towards the top end of the panel. So when you do if you're trying to lift on a pitch, when you do the first lift, it's a matter of trial and error, positioning the machine off center until you get the position that works for you. And once you're happy with that, you can mark every subsequent panel to locate the machine in the right place to lift the panel at the correct pitch to suit your roof. We're just going to do as a flat lift at the moment. And in terms of positioning across the width of the panel, all of the suction pads are adjustable. You can undo this black thumb screw here and slide the pad along the cross arm. But it's pretty obvious we're going to locate the suction pads in the 2 outer valleys, and as long as we're balanced across the width of the panel, again the panel should lift quite flat. So we're now going to lower the machine down onto the panel. And when you do that, you need to make sure that all the weight of the machine is down onto the panel, so your lifting sling is quite slack. The beam along underneath the Clad Boy is fairly level, and the pads themselves are compressed down onto the panel surface. Once you're happy with that, you can then activate suction. That's using this lever, which you're going to rotate into the upright position. Okay, I'm going to repeat that sequence in a moment and show you what happens on the front of the machine. So to release suction, which obviously you'll do later when the panel's in position, again, just release that clamp and rotate that lever down. And as soon as that's rotated down, you've lost suction on the panel. The machine vents immediately and the panel is released. So obviously don't do that until you're happy that the panel's in position and retained safely. So I'm going to repeat that again. I'm going to show you first of all the vacuum gauge under here as I push the lever up. And you'll notice, as soon as I pushed the lever into the suction position, the needle on the vacuum gauge swung quickly through the red zone and went into the green zone. As it was climbing through the red zone, this red light was illuminated and you could probably hear the warning siren. As soon as the needle got into the green zone, the siren went out, the red light went out and the green light came on. And at that stage, you're safe to lift. The vacuum pumps themselves will continue to run for 10 or 12 seconds or so, and the vacuum itself builds beyond the green zone into roughly what it is now, which is equivalent to 0.72 or 0.73. That gives you the safety margin. The machine is designed to operate in a vacuum range, and as you get vacuum leaks, which inevitably you will get with profile panels, once this needle gets down to a trigger point, the pumps will kick back in and pump up to this maximum level. So hearing the vacuum pumps coming on and off during a lift is normal, and they're doing simply what they're intended to do. So now we've got suction on the panel, we've got a green light, which means we can lift the panel. And the final thing you do is lift it a foot or so clear of the stack and then apply the secondary safety straps. We're just going to raise the panel. You'll notice it's lifting fairly flat because we're in the middle of the panel. The safety straps simply loop around the panel. And they go into the retaining clip there. And you can tension them. They need to be fairly snug around the panel, but not too tight. You need to be able to get that loop in and out. Once you've adjusted the length, you shouldn't have to adjust it again for subsequent panels. Now, the secondary safety straps are not optional. They are mandatory and compulsory. And you need to use those whenever you're lifting panels overhead. And when you come onto the roof structure, and you're lowering the machine with a panel and you're a few inches from the purlins, simply remove the safety strap by pulling the pin, pulling it away, pull it around the panel, making sure it's clear of any panel joints, and then continue to lower the panel into position. When you're happy with the position of the panel and it's safe and the panel's retained with 1 or 2 fixings, then you can release suction, as I've shown you, by releasing this clamp and pulling the lever downwards. But as soon as that's released, the machine will let go of the panel. So don't do that until you're happy. Then obviously the machine can come down to the ground for the next panel lift. So we're going to stop this now. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some panel details and suction pads, and then there'll be a final video showing you how to put the machine away when you finish with it.